Ibrahim Traore and Muammar Gaddafi's similarity when it comes to reform and revolution. You'll be amazed that everything Ibrahim Traore is using is what Muammar Gaddafi already mapped out. Welcome to this channel. Let's dive into this video. Ibrahim Traore versus Muammar Gaddafi revolution in Africa. Please watch to the end.
Today, we will discuss the accomplishments of Libya's previous leader, Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi controlled Libya as the revolutionary chairman of the Libyan Arab Republic from 1969 to 1977, and then as the brotherly leader of the great socialist people's Libyan Arab Jamahiriya from 1977 until his assassination in 2011. Muammar Gaddafi, a highly crafty and contentious character, ruled Libyan politics for over 4 decades, transforming the country in a variety of ways. Many people condemned Gaddafi as a dictator whose autocratic regime violated human rights and funded global terrorism both in Libya and elsewhere. Despite the notoriety associated with his name, Gaddafi made significant contributions to Libya's growth, and he is mourned by many in sub-Saharan Africa. During his tenure, Libya had one of Africa's fastest-growing economies and was dubbed the Middle East of Africa. It is difficult to discuss Gaddafi's successes in Libya in just one way. He worked hard for his people before passing away in 2011, and we've compiled a list of his accomplishments in every sector of the economy in today's film. Simply watch this film and discover for yourself the most astounding actions of this renowned Libyan commander. Libya obtained independence from Italy in 1951 and was looking forward to progress, relying heavily on foreign help from other Western and European countries such as Britain and the United States. But in 1956, everything changed in Libya with the discovery of the country's first oil. This was a vast civilizational potential that had been hidden in the country for ages. Libya's population began to grow, as did development-related problems. Have you ever heard of the gold dinar? Muammar Gaddafi proposed a fantasy currency for Africa. It was going to be his biggest achievement in Libya, Africa, and the entire world. However, Western powers crushed the project, which ultimately failed. Libya was one of the poorest countries in the world between the 1950s and 1960s, but when Gaddafi took control in 1969, he transformed it into Africa's richest economy, with over $150 billion in foreign reserves and no budget deficit. Libya's currency was the strongest and most valuable in Africa. The Libyan dinar was one of the world's strongest currencies. To strengthen the African continent's economy and combat poverty and deterioration, Gaddafi proposed the idea of a strong Libyan currency to the AU. During Gaddafi's tenure, the government paid for all education up to and including university. People who were unable to access their desired courses in Libya were given government funding to pursue them abroad. This contributed to a rise in Libya's literacy rate from 25% to over 90%. The country's public education system became free, and both sexes were required to complete primary school. No system is flawless, but most are flawed and costly. Gaddafi ensured his system was funded, and Mercy Corps confirmed this fact. According to the United Nations Development Program, Libya ranked 5th in the Arab world in 2010 for human development, particularly in terms of intellectual growth. In addition, everyone in Libya had access to free power. Gaddafi also established the world's largest irrigation system to provide water to every home in Libya. The vast man-made river project that began in Libya during Muammar Gaddafi's reign is a remarkable one for the country. The project's foundation stone was placed at Sarir on August 28, 1984. This project makes use of a pipeline system that transports water from South Libya's Nubian sandstone aquifer system to northern towns such as Tripoli and Benghazi. The water covers a radius of up to 1,600 kilometers and accounts for 70% of all fresh water consumed in Libya. It is vital to highlight that Libya, as a desert country, has traditionally experienced long-term water shortages. The Gaddafi-sponsored water project received the moniker Eighth Wonder of the World. If any Libyan citizens were interested in beginning a farming enterprise, the government could provide them with seeds, land, and even livestock for free.
Transformation that is capturing the attention of the entire African continent. Under the bold and strategic leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore, the nation is proving that food sovereignty is not a distant dream, but a reality within reach. While many African countries continue to depend on foreign aid, moving from one international summit to another seeking food assistance, Burkina Faso is charting a new course, one of self-reliance, resilience, and national dignity. And at the heart of this revolution is a decision that has shocked many. When President Traore declared that Burkina Faso would no longer beg for food, he backed his words with decisive action. One of the most groundbreaking policies introduced under his leadership is the integration of prisoners into the national agricultural workforce. What was once a burden on the state, the cost of housing and feeding inmates, has now become a productive force for national development. Through a well-structured initiative, Burkina Faso's correctional facilities are being repurposed into centers of agricultural training and food production. Instead of merely punishing offenders, the government is empowering them with skills that will enable them to reintegrate into society as productive citizens. And the results?
Another distinctive characteristic of Gaddafi's reign in Libya was that shelter was seen as an inherent human right for all Libyan citizens. Individuals and families owned homes in Libya, and according to the regulations in effect, they were forbidden to be rented out. It was part of Gaddafi's efforts to combat homelessness in the country. Gaddafi's Green Book, initially published in 1975, served as his political philosophy Bible. He realized that he would not be able to provide a home for his parents unless every citizen had one. There are many other accomplishments by Gaddafi in Libya throughout his presidency that we may not be able to cover entirely in this video. However, it should be noted that among his many accomplishments, Gaddafi established a bursary for mothers who gave birth to newborn babies. They each earned $5,000 for their care. Libya had the world's lowest petrol prices at the time. A liter of fluid costs approximately 0.14. By Islamic Sharia law, no interest was imposed on loans, and basic commodity costs in Libya were exceedingly low, ensuring that no one went hungry. When someone wishes to buy an automobile, the government subsidizes the cost by up to 50%. Isn't it great? Graduates received an unemployment fee from the government to utilize until they found work. We would want to underline that since Gaddafi came to power, oil has been the primary resource in the hands of the Libyan Arab population. The triumph of the 1969 revolution signified a paradigm shift, prompting the new government to use oil revenue to increase redistributive measures among the populace, resulting in a new model of economic and social development for the country. According to some analysts, among the numerous economic sovereignty strategies that drove Gaddafi's policies were the nationalization of various Western oil companies, such as British Petroleum, and the establishment of the National Oil Corporation, which exemplified a more socialist model. Within the Libyan state, Gaddafi faced two major difficulties that were entirely distinctive of the country. The first was the difficulty of exerting influence over all of Libya's tribes, and the second was the country's fragmentation into disparate tribal and regional factions. Gaddafi was able to hold together these tribes that had little in common. Libya is reported to have over 140 tribes, each with its own traditions and origins. Internationally, Gaddafi attempted to build connections with neighboring countries such as Egypt, Morocco, Syria, Tunisia, and Chad, among others, while also retaining close ties with France and Russia. Pan-Arabism is inextricably linked to Gaddafi's achievements in Libya and around the globe. He attacked Western nations such as the United States and formed tighter ties with other Arab countries to carry out similar activities, such as denouncing Washington's policies in the Middle East and Africa, albeit with limited strength. Gaddafi also connected Libya to Latin American countries such as Venezuela and Cuba, which helped him build a large network of relationships. This, however, exerted an unsettling influence on Europe and the United States. By the time Gaddafi was assassinated, Libya had Africa's highest GDP per capita and life expectancy rates. Fewer people are living below the poverty line than in the Netherlands. Many Gaddafi loyalists continued to praise his regime for establishing a nearly classless society through domestic freedom. A regime that combated homelessness, ensured access to food and safe drinking water, and marked a significant advance in schooling. They also applaud his efforts in medical care and the Gaddafi regime's provision of free universal health care, which reduced the spread of diseases like cholera and typhoid, and raised life expectancy. Libya's name was changed multiple times throughout Gaddafi's reign as leader. From 1969 until 1977, it was known as the Libyan Arab Republic. The name was altered to the Socialist People's Libyan Arab Jamahiriya in 1977, and then to the Great Socialist People's Libyan Arab Jamahiriya in 1986, following the U.S. attack. Gaddafi gave the name Jamahiriya, which means state of the masses. Throughout his 42-year leadership, Gaddafi defended his position against opposition and coup attempts from both the military and the civilian public. He responded to these dangers on the one hand by preserving a careful balance of power among the country's troops, and on the other, by brutally suppressing them. Libya, under Gaddafi, was not as horrible as the world has been led to think. During Gaddafi's time in Libya, ambitious social initiatives were undertaken in education, health, housing, and public works, among other sectors, as you can see in this movie. These policies resulted in a significant improvement in Libyans' living conditions, propelling the country from one of Africa's poorest in 1969 to the continent's leader in the Human Development Index by 2011. After watching this film, how can you draw parallels between Libya under Muammar Gaddafi and Libya today under Mohammed al-Menfi?
So after watching this video, how can you not agree that these two leaders are fighting for the interests of their people? To just check, you've seen the similarity. Muammar Gaddafi fought for what? Homelessness, to end it in his country. And he did. Even his parents, he could not even give them a home because he wanted to make sure that every Libyan have a home. What is Ibrahim Traore doing today? He's fighting for the same cause, making sure that their people are living very, very comfortably. And that's what his goal is. Now, when it comes to food, Muammar Gaddafi fought hunger. He fought hunger, and that's what every great nation will do. America fought hunger, and they are comfortable. What is Ibrahim Traore doing today? He's fighting hunger, and he's not just saying it, but then he built a trade school where all the young folks will go in and get trained. And when you graduate, if you decide to be a farmer, the government will give you the seed, the livestock, and even the land that you need for you to proceed. The same thing Muammar Gaddafi did for his country. When you decide that you're going to do agriculture, his government was giving his people land, he gave them seed, and gave them livestock. Are these people not working for the best interests of their country? Now, let's go to healthcare. Muammar Gaddafi gave every person in Libya free healthcare. Even on top of that, he's paying $5,000 to the new mom that just delivered. What is Ibrahim Traore doing today? He gave free healthcare to the people of Burkina Faso. In every public government hospital, child delivery is free. And then they say he has a special connection about that because his mother almost died giving back to him because they didn't have the funding for that. By the time they made it to the hospital, it was almost too late. And he's making sure that no woman should go through that again. He said, why would women pay for giving birth? So at the end of the day, tell me if these people are not working for the best interests of their country. And people will sit down and call them they're a threat to the world. They will call them a dictator. My dear, everybody should wake up and fight for their own. Everybody should wake up and fight for their country. All Africans should look for a good leader and drive away all these greedy leaders that you have, and put the young people that have the best interests of their people to work for their people. Africa is a very rich nation, and they're making it look like Africa, they depend on the foreign aid for them to survive. They don't depend. They are blessed. They have resources. They have good weather. They can transform whatever they want to transform with. If only the Western world will leave them alone, I know they will succeed. They are rich. If you fight for your own, everybody should look at Ibrahim Traore and make sure that there are people that are transforming the country and they work with the people. How many times have these people has threatened this man's life? We cannot even count it. More than 20 times or 21 times. But he's not afraid to do the right people thing for his country, and he want to leave that legacy, and that legacy is what he stands for. Please don't forget to like this video, share and comment. Stay connected, and thank you for watching.